is a disrespectful candidate, is not a safe pair of hands, is hard, not viewed as a Democrat, is hateful, and the reasons are there, 5% or thereabout. For Mwaura Wahiga, he is not known. That's what stands out for him. And for Wajakoya, quite some interesting reasons here. His very clear plan is being seen as anti-ethical or illegal. It's an acceptable practice, and that is 96% of those who would not vote him, 97% actually, says that bank farming is not something that is acceptable. And they also say that his manifesto is not that convincing. And then everything about his manifesto is impractical. So the reasons for voting for these candidates come out very clear, and their detractions also come out very clear. And this is what voters have told us in verbatim. Just picked them and analyzed them and presented them here. So we talked about undecided voters, and we want to just go through the undecided voters and find out who are these undecided voters and where are they. So if you compare this sample, just cross-tab it by the total sample that we covered, these undecided voters, you see, most of them are found in the rural. Incidentally, that's quite high. In terms of the age, undecided voters, the older population, that is the 55 and above. Now, I need to stop there and say this. The youth have voter apathy. The older are undecided. A bigger proportion who are undecided. Now, that's a very interesting dynamic in this particular election. In terms of gender, females are more undecided. And in terms of the regions, Western Kenya stands out, and specifically Bungoma County, where we have a high number, in fact, the highest in the country of undecided voters is from Western Kenya, and a bit of it from Coast. We think the other regions are well sitting pretty, ready for the elections. And that would be the strategy for the week, focusing on where we have more of the undecided voters. We had a question in this survey where, just besides who candidates, who voters would vote for, we asked a question on what is your perception, or what, irrespective of who you vote for, who do you think will win this election? So irrespective of who you vote for on that particular day. So this is a very perceptual question. Who would you vote for? Now, this is interesting because we have cross-tabulated by the candidates that they would vote for at the top, and now who they think will win the election. Now, at total level, everybody thinks, or 54% of the voter population thinks Raila will win this election. 43% think William Ruto will win the election. Only 1.6% think Wajakoya will win this election, and 0.1% think Mwaura Wahiga would win this election. But let us look at Raila Odinga's voters, those who would vote for Raila Odinga. 97% think he will win the election, but 3% of those who would vote for Raila think William Ruto will win this election. When you look at William Ruto supporters, 8% think Raila will win this election. When you look at those who told us that they don't know or they're undecided, 62% think Raila will win this election. And those who refused to answer us, 54% think that Raila will win this election. So in one way or another, we think even with the undecided or undeclared voters, we can still feel where their intention is. And if we go by this result, then the perception, the voter perception out there is that Raila will win this election at the first round. Finally, we presented to voters some statements or some particular assertions and asked them, who do you think, or which presidential candidate do you feel his government will fulfill all these particular statements, one by one? And we exposed all the 4 presidential candidates. And because of the numbers, we just picked the top 2. If you look at this, it is very, very clear that for most of the statements, voters feel that Raila Odinga is better placed to promote gender inclusivity, to foster relations between Kenya and neighboring countries, is more poised to advance and support devolution, to enhance the image of Kenya globally, is more predisposed to fight corruption, and the like. But there are two particular statements where these two candidates seem to meet. When you look at enhancing opportunities for Kenyans, both of them are almost playing at the same level, and creating opportunities for the youth. None of them stands out. They both kind of tie. However, the perception is that their level of dealing with debt for them, both of them, is still low. With their perceptions, we have seen each of these candidates stand out very clear with their strengths and also their weaknesses. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want to bring this to a close and invite my colleague Enoch, who can now take questions, and then we'll respond to you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming and spending time with us today. My name is Enoch. We have time for about 5 questions. So when you get the microphone, please tell us your name, the media house that you are coming from. Then you ask your question. Someone will answer, and then we'll take the next one. So the first question, please.
Good morning. I'm the report for people today. Your findings indicate that Raila Ruto has standing not yet, that Ruto has 43% and Raila has 42%. I don't know how or what is the feeling from the elite and how are we categorized not yet.
We can take another question so that I respond to both of them together.
Thank you. My name is Walter TV. Mr. Sam, you mentioned that the methodology that you used was a one-on-one interview kind of, correct? Did you find it more intense somehow, then that's why you came with a big number of undecided votes?
So let me respond to the first question. Our categorization of counties into regions, I did insist that it was not according to any legal definition, but we put counties into regions that are homogeneous or share similar trends or traits for the purpose of analysis. And I could easily declare that what we call North Rift, in this case, had 3 counties, which was basically Turkana, Samburu, and West Pokot. And then Central Rift, for those who would want to know, it took Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Baringo, Nakuru, Kericho, and Bomet. And then South Rift, very specifically, we took Narok, and Kajiado. So that shows the classification. So it is true in the North Rift, in which case here we're talking about Turkana, Samburu, and West Pokot. The two top candidates are tying very, very close to each other, such that we could not determine like one has a clear leadership over the other. In terms of your second question, face-to-face interviews presents one of the most important dynamics in our profession, interviewing, because it presents a case where you can easily create a rapport with the respondent, because you can see each other, you can talk, and then you can understand. For example, if somebody doesn't want to talk about an issue, ethically, you do not force a response out of that, and that is much better done. Actually, the dynamics of getting that is much better when you do a face-to-face interview than when it is an interview with a phone or a screen or somebody you cannot see or just an online. That dynamic is much, much better. And so from an ethical point of view, when somebody tells us that they are undecided, we would not force that answer. And those who told us that for sure they don't know were 4%. That is what I would call undecided. The 5% who told us that I cannot tell you, I cannot disclose this to you, I feel it's possible, it's 5%. I think they're also entitled to that. And it was important for us to bring it out so that we don't just bundle all of them and call them undecided. We bring out those who already know, but they would not disclose for personalized reasons. And I think it's fair enough to just report them and group them that way. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Nanda from KBC. My question is, there are perceptions of which I know you've also gotten wind of, that these opinion polls tend to they are sort of influenced to favor some political factions. What do you have to say about that?
So in the first place, we are here as IPSOS. We've made it very clear that we funded this election. We've done just one cycle because we felt our muscle, we could only do one. And I would want to declare before the fourth estate that we've not even received any call from any political party to talk to us about this. How do these results influence voter preference? Now, we feel we have a duty, number one, to inform the society. Remember, this is our contribution, deepening democracy. When people are informed, they can make better choices. What we have seen is already that most voters have already cemented their choices. We do not feel like this opinion poll will influence, to a large extent, voter outcomes. But when we make this information available to you as members of the Fourth Estate and to Kenyans in general, it is our contribution to deepening democracy. Remember, we not only doing this in Kenya, we've done this as IPSOS in many other countries of the world.
Japo tuna tofauti